So yeah, Holland's out of control as well. Right, let's talk about corporations, another favorite target, right, for fucking comedy. This story's insane, right? Like, I've talked a lot on the show about, like, fucking Nestle in particular, right? Nestle are one of the chief offenders. You know, they've had executives say that water isn't a fundamental human right.
Agreed.
Yeah, agreed. Like, you don't need, you're not entitled to water
Enjoy
from
nice
planet Earth.
brown glass water.
But I also remember as well, it was Nestle that were doing, and this is true, I know this sounds a bit Alex Jones-ish, but you can go and look this up. They were doing experiments with crossing, I think it was human DNA in cows. I know this sounds mental.
CROSSBREED.
The button's back. The button's back, everyone. The cross.
Infowars.com.
Right, buy my brain
Banned.
pills. Right, banned immediately.
God.
No, right,
Don't actually go out.
yeah, definitely don't. It's mental. Anyway, no, like it was revealed. It was a comedian called Mark Thomas that actually put this out on a TV show called the Mark Thomas Comedy Product, which you can go check it out. It was fantastic. Mark Thomas also wrote a great book about Coca-Cola called Belching Out the Devil, that I urge anybody to go and read if you're interested in how corporations operate. Shows that, Coca-Cola turned a blind eye to union killings in Colombia, in Bogota, where they have a bottling plant. Because, how Coca-Cola get away with it is they only have one official office in the world. And everything else is like, franchised or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's a way to dodge lots of corporate responsibilities. Super interesting. But anyway, what Nestle were looking at was a way to make to make cows produce human breast milk, so they could sell it in third world countries.
Shouldn't bother selling part. Good idea, I guess. If it's possible.
I mean, they've just got a long-standing history of
yeah, exactly. If you said that, if you said that
telling
as a scientist doing it,
telling women not to breastfeed their kids because it's dangerous, and actually buy our Nestle formula because it's better for your kids. Just horrific stuff. Nestle's an absolute fucking joke. They really like to push the envelope when it comes to evil corporate behavior. And I saw this fucking headline, and it's just ridiculous. So there's now this whole push because, look, I think everybody knows this. This is one of the things that I hate about fucking woke people that talk about, we must bring communism. Like communism's going to fix everything. And I also hate right-wingers who just think everybody who's even vaguely left-wing must support communism as an ideology. Everyone's stupid. But, I hate those motherfuckers that, they take their MacBook Air Pro and their iPhone and they sit in a Starbucks and they sit there and they talk about, yes, corporate America's evil, It's like, yeah, okay, but, we're all propping it the fuck up, aren't we? Where the fuck would I be without Amazon, right? Where, we got products all around me. I don't know how many of these were all ethically, created. It's very hard if you live in Western society to sort of take a stand. But equally, if you're going to posture and pose about it while you're on a fucking iPhone, when we know Apple have had news stories about people in, sweatshops in China throwing themselves out the window to try and kill themselves because the working conditions are so bad.
So maybe got nets now.
Yeah, exactly. And
Straight back to work.
And Apple's response was to put nets outside the window so they can fish the motherfuckers out and send them straight back to the sweatshop with overtime now. Because, we all know this is happening, right? We all know when we say, oh, isn't it great that this corporation over here is taking a stand for civil rights with its use of iconography or imagery for its advertising thing. What we then subsequently sort of don't think about explicitly is that their products, might be a clothing line and their products are made in a fucking sweatshop in Southeast Asia. And, it's kids as young as 6 getting mangled in machines to make you those sneakers you like. That's the reality. I don't know what consumers can do to get away from it, honestly. You know, I read, you know, when I was a fucking lefty at college, I obviously read No Logo by Naomi Klein. I think everyone's done that. And, you know, corporations, it just is what it is. They rule everything. They own everything. And it's very hard to sort of ethically and sustainably, like, have the things you want and need without giving money to people that are ridiculous. What needs to happen is there needs to be some sort of, I don't know, like maybe the government could, you know, not be incentivized to take corporate money. You know, we could bring some rules in, and all of a sudden we could have regulatory bodies, maybe. So they've been trying to put this big thing in, where they want to have companies, and I think this is specifically for Australia. They want companies to not use slavery.
Good.
Yeah, like
good start.
Yeah, like as if you can believe this is a thing in 2018 that you have to explicitly say. Can you not get your labor from places that use slaves? And if people think slavery was like an American Civil War thing and it ended, I hate to break it to everybody. Slavery is still ongoing in lots of countries. We talked about it over in, you know, the situation in Qatar, you know, for the World Cup, where people who are essentially slave labor just get worked to death in 140-degree scorching heat, and they, you know, they just die. And then the people that own the stadiums are like, well, yeah, that sucks. That really sucks, but, you know, they were just slaves, so it's okay, I guess. And they just put their bodies in the foundations of the stadium, and we just go about our business. So Nestle have been told if they want to keep doing, you know, it's for companies operating in Australia with an annual turnover of $100 million, which Nestle very obviously may. By the way, if you're getting up, can you bring in the bottle of rye whiskey? Thanks. And what you've got here is they need to, you know, respect this act that they will not use slave labor. It's called the Modern Slavery Bill 2018, current year. I see the jokes. It's okay. And Nestle owns 2,000 brands in 189 countries across the world. And it said that it shouldn't have to necessarily comply with this bill, which stops human trafficking, slavery, sexual servitude, and child labor within businesses. And they said they shouldn't necessarily have to comply with it because it would cost time and money, which would need to be passed on probably to the consumer and be borne somewhere else along the business. So basically what Nestle said was, we can't guarantee we won't use slave labor because to check if we're not might cost us a little bit of money. So, I mean, I guess when I said this was going to be a funny show, I guess you have to have a kind of dark, sardonic sense of humor to kind of laugh about that. But I mean, that's corporations in a nutshell. And you know, people don't really seem to, you know, it doesn't seem to sink in. You know, you're eating a fucking bowl of, you know, Nesquik cereal, and you're not thinking about the sort of bigger picture. Thanks, buddy.